Picture this. The arena is suffused with tension so thick it feels almost tangible, cutting through the air like a knife as every fan senses that something monumental is about to happen. The Usos have been battered and bruised in recent weeks, their aura of dominance challenged at every turn, their once solid reputation tested in ways that have left them on edge and visibly strained. Jey Uso, proud, fierce, and unyielding, has been pushed to the absolute limits of his patience and endurance. He is walking a fine line between loyalty to family and an intense, burning personal ambition to prove that he is more than just a tag team superstar, that he is someone capable of carrying the weight of the bloodline's legacy and asserting his own authority when the time demands it. Then enters LA Knight, striding into the arena with fire burning in his eyes and confidence practically radiating off him in every movement. His swagger is unmistakable, his aura commanding, and he strikes with precision. Every motion is calculated, every glance intentional, as he delivers the BFD with pinpoint accuracy, dropping Jey to the mat and leaving the crowd in stunned silence. The lights dim dramatically, the audience collectively holds its breath, and from the shadowed ramp emerges the tribal chief himself, Roman Reigns. The air grows cold as his presence fills the arena, commanding attention without a word, yet his voice eventually cuts through the static with chilling clarity. This is no act of forgiveness, no casual confrontation, this is retribution in its purest form. Roman's arrival, his glare, his icy tone, sends a message not only to LA Knight but to anyone who might even consider threatening the legacy of the bloodline. Tonight, on Wrestling Pro News, we will dissect every moment of this storyline, the meticulous setup, the shocking attack, the immediate fallout, and Roman's deliberate, piercing warning. This isn't just a physical confrontation, it's a statement about respect, loyalty, power, and the consequences of betrayal. Welcome to Suplex Saga, the channel that goes beyond mere recaps to deliver deep dives into WWE's biggest moments, exploring the backstage politics, the character evolution, and the stories that become legendary. We analyze, predict, and connect the dots to show you the narrative beneath the spectacle. If betrayal, redemption, shifting alliances, and high-stakes drama are what excite you, then you have found your home. Hit subscribe, ring the bell, and prepare for a saga that is only just beginning, where every twist matters and every character choice has lasting repercussions. To fully understand this moment, you need to look at the weeks leading up to it. Jey Uso has been riding a wave of momentum, building credibility at a championship level, refining his mic skills, and demonstrating a relentless focus on reclaiming the dominance and recognition he believes the Usos and the bloodline rightfully deserve. His character development mirrors the very traits Roman Reigns demands: unwavering respect, fierce loyalty to family, and an uncompromising drive for dominance. LA Knight, meanwhile, has been steadily escalating tension, pushing boundaries, and directly challenging Jey both verbally and physically, igniting a simmering conflict that has been developing for weeks. The crowd's response has been split, some rallying to Knight's energy, others jeering his audacity, creating a complex and charged atmosphere. Then, at Raw on September 15, 2025, everything comes to a head. Knight teams with Jey Uso to face Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. After the match, Jey rushes in to assist his brother and other allies against the Vision's onslaught, creating the illusion of unity, a fleeting moment of solidarity that seems to promise peace. In a shocking twist, LA Knight seizes the moment of vulnerability and delivers the BFD, a betrayal that leaves the arena in stunned silence, Jey writhing in pain, and fans reeling from the unexpected turn. Breaking down Knight's attack reveals a masterclass in timing, body language, and visual storytelling. As Jey charges in with a steel chair, the audience assumes he is entering the fray to save his family, a heroic moment anticipated by everyone. Knight, however, subverts expectations, positioning himself to create a false sense of alignment, a brief illusion of trust, only to shatter at the instant Jey turns to extend a handshake. The BFD lands with crushing impact, and the shock reverberates through the audience, who expected camaraderie but received betrayal. Symbolically, this moment is monumental. It establishes Knight as more than just a rival. He is a strategist, opportunistic and unafraid to exploit trust when it serves his ambition. This attack reshapes relationships across the board, between Knight and the Usos, between Jey and Roman, and between who the audience perceives as babyface or heel. Following the BFD, Knight stands in the ring, chest heaving, as boos rain down from the crowd while cameras linger on Jey writhing outside the ropes. He seizes the microphone and delivers a message designed to unsettle and assert dominance. Now we're even. Now we're good. He frames his actions as justice, claiming retribution for last week's spear and presenting the attack as karma rather than pure malice, warning Jey that any future attempts to challenge him will be met with even harsher consequences. Backstage, rumors begin to circulate rapidly. Roman Reigns has seen the attack, heard the message, and his response is inevitable. Because when you threaten Jey, you threaten the bloodline, and Roman's warning is not just about retaliation. It is about loyalty, discipline, and the unspoken code that governs family and legacy. Sources suggest Roman's message, whether delivered via backstage promo, video package, or personal confrontation, is chilling in tone. Words like, "Fly too close to the flame, you get burned. Betray the bloodline, and you're not just hurting yourself, you light a spark that burns entire families," emphasize the gravity of crossing him. Knight's actions are a test, and the consequences, whether immediate or delayed, will be severe. Meanwhile, Jey's character continues to evolve in real time. No longer merely the comedic tag team member or the perennial underdog, he now exhibits ambition, strategic ruthlessness, and a drive to reclaim prominence and assert dominance within the WWE hierarchy. His actions increasingly mirror Roman Reigns' own. He demands respect, acts decisively, and positions himself strategically, from the execution of the spear to the way he asserts himself at the top of the ropes, a visual and symbolic assertion of power. Knight, on the other hand, demonstrates cunning, charisma, and audacity, showing he is willing to stand alone, challenge existing structures, and disrupt the bloodline's carefully maintained order. His betrayal is more than a single act of defiance. It is a statement of independence, ambition, and the willingness to challenge not just Jey but Roman's authority itself. Knight's defiance could be interpreted as an attempt to draw Roman into direct confrontation, creating narrative momentum that escalates stakes for all parties involved. Considering potential booking directions, WWE could orchestrate a direct confrontation between Roman and Knight on Raw or SmackDown, potentially demanding restitution, a public apology, or other forms of accountability. Jey may find himself torn between loyalty to his family and his personal ambition, leading to tense misalignments during tag matches, solo promos, or multi-man encounters that force Knight and Jey into repeated conflict. Roman's presence raises the stakes further, possibly resulting in a climactic main event at an upcoming pay-per-view, with stipulations like a steel cage, no disqualification, or other narrative devices emphasizing betrayal and the consequences of crossing the bloodline. Fan reactions have already exploded online. Clips of the BFD, the handshake betrayal, and Jey's furious response have gone viral, trending across social platforms, spawning memes, debates, polls, and intense discussion. WWE thrives on this level of engagement, where every promo, segment, and confrontation is scrutinized through the lens of betrayal, family loyalty, and legacy, amplifying audience investment in the storyline. The potential for this angle is enormous. If executed effectively, it could elevate Jey Uso into main event contention, solidify LA Knight as a formidable adversary, and reinforce Roman Reigns' role as the indomitable protector of the bloodline. Missteps, however, could muddle character alignments, leaving fans uncertain about who is a hero, a villain, or an anti-hero. Clarity in storytelling, verbal stakes, and match consequences will be critical to sustaining tension and delivering a satisfying payoff. Roman's warning, delivered with icy precision, could define the trajectory of this feud. "Tonight, this isn't about receipts. It's about respect. Cross the bloodline, and you will feel the cost. Jey, you've made your move, and consequences follow. Stand with us, or face the price. Walk wisely, because the tribal chief sees all and remembers everything." With WrestlePalooza approaching, a showdown between Jey Uso and LA Knight is highly likely, potentially involving Roman's interference, authoritative oversight, or dramatic stipulations, all designed to heighten tension, test loyalties, and explore character dynamics. The long-term impact on Raw could be significant. Alliances could fracture, character arcs could shift, and Knight could emerge as a serious threat to the Usos' legacy while Jey is forced to confront his own evolving ambition. Storytelling opportunities abound. Backstage encounters, blind-sided attacks, video packages highlighting the betrayal, flashbacks of the Bloodline's history, and tension-filled promos that escalate stakes, forcing Knight to either double down or retreat. Tonight's breakdown demonstrates how LA Knight's attack on Jey Uso is not just a moment of violence but a catalyst for character evolution, family tension, and high-stakes drama that will reverberate throughout WWE in the coming weeks. Thanks for watching Suplex Saga, where we explore every nuance behind the spectacle. If you enjoyed this analysis, hit like, subscribe, and share your thoughts. Who comes out on top if Roman steps in? Will Jey rise to the occasion, or will Knight push the limits too far? Roman's warning signals war, and this story is only just beginning. Picture this. The arena is thick with tension, so heavy it almost feels like you could cut it with a knife. The Usos have been battered and bruised in recent weeks, their vision of dominance questioned, their aura of invincibility challenged at every turn. Jey Uso, proud, fierce, and relentless, has been pushed to the very edge of his patience, teetering between loyalty to family and the burning ambition to prove himself. And then, as if igniting a powder keg, LA Knight steps onto the scene. Fire blazing in his eyes, confidence radiating with every step, swagger practically on his shoulders, he seizes his moment. Every move calculated, every second purposeful, he strikes with precision. The BFD lands, Jey hits the mat, and the crowd collectively gasps in disbelief. The lights dim, the arena holds its breath, and from the shadowed ramp emerges the tribal chief himself, Roman Reigns. The temperature seems to drop as his presence fills the room, his voice cutting through the static, chilling yet commanding. This is not a moment of forgiveness, this is retribution. This is a statement to LA Knight, to Jey Uso, and to anyone who dares to threaten the legacy of the Bloodline. Tonight, on Wrestling Pro News, we break down every moment, the careful setup, the shocking attack, the immediate fallout, and Roman's icy, deliberate warning. This isn't just a fight, it's a lesson in respect, a test of loyalty, a reminder that the bonds of family are not to be trifled with. Welcome to Suplex Saga, your go-to deep dive channel for WWE's biggest moments, the backstage maneuvers, and the stories that etch themselves into wrestling history. We don't just recap, we analyze, predict, and connect every narrative dot. If betrayal, redemption, power struggles, and dramatic twists fuel your passion, you've just found your home. Hit subscribe, ring the bell, and strap in, because this saga is just heating up, and every twist matters when understanding Roman Reigns' message. To truly grasp the weight of this moment, you have to understand how it all escalated. Jey Uso has been riding a wave of momentum lately. With championship-level credibility, growing mic skills, and a relentless focus on reclaiming what the Usos and the Bloodline deserve, he has begun to mirror the ideals Roman himself demands: respect, family, dominance. Meanwhile, LA Knight has been steadily pushing boundaries, stepping into Jey's spotlight, interrupting promos, and sowing tension over weeks that have built like a slow-burning fire. The crowd's reaction is complex. Some rally behind Knight, others jeer him, but every fan feels the simmering intensity. Then, at Raw on September 15, 2025, everything comes to a head. Knight teams up with Jey Uso to face Bronson Reed in Braun Breaker. After the match, Jey rushes in to assist his brother and others against the Vision's onslaught. For a fleeting moment, there seems to be peace, even a handshake signaling solidarity. But Knight seizes the opening and delivers the BFD, a betrayal that sends shockwaves through the arena and leaves the fans stunned. Let's break down LA Knight's calculated strike. Timing is everything. His body language, his positioning, the visual storytelling, it all works together. As Jey charges in with a steel chair, the crowd assumes he's coming to save his family, a heroic moment frozen in expectation. But Knight doesn't play by those rules. He creates a false sense of alignment, a brief impression of unity. Then, when Jey turns, extending the handshake as a gesture of trust, Knight shatters that illusion, hitting the BFD with ruthless precision. The crowd's shock is almost palpable. They expected loyalty, but received betrayal. Symbolically, it's massive. Knight proves he isn't just a rival, he's someone who seizes opportunity, who isn't afraid to break bonds when it serves his purpose. That single attack shifts dynamics across the board, between Knight and the Yos, between Jey and Roman, and between who the audience sees as a babyface or heel. After the attack, the show closes with Knight standing in the ring, breathing heavily, the crowd erupting in boos, while cameras linger on Jey writhing outside the ropes. Knight seizes the mic and delivers a chilling message: now we're even. Now we're good. He frames the attack as justice, claiming it was a response to last week's spear, presenting it as karma rather than malice, and warns that further aggression from Jey will be met with even greater consequences. Backstage, rumors swirl. Roman Reigns sees, hears, and undoubtedly cares. Because when you threaten Jey, you threaten the bloodline. Roman's forthcoming warning is about more than retaliation, it's about loyalty, expectations, and the code of the family. Sources suggest that Roman's message, whether delivered via backstage promo or video package, is icy, deliberate, and unforgettable. Words like, fly too close to the flame, you get burned. Betray the bloodline, and you're not just hurting yourself, you light a spark that burns the whole family. Knight's actions are a test, and the consequences are real. Jey's character is evolving. No longer just the comedic tag team member or underdog, he's showing ambition, anger, and a will to claim his place at the top. He's adopting traits reminiscent of Roman himself: ruthless efficiency, a demand for respect, and strategic thinking. His spear, his stance on the top rope, everything is a visual echo of the tribal chief's dominance. Meanwhile, Knight is proving to be smart, charismatic, and opportunistic. By betraying Jey, he positions himself as a lone force, someone who doesn't need allegiance and isn't afraid to challenge the established hierarchy, even threatening Roman's vision of family loyalty. Knight's defiance could draw Roman into a confrontation, setting up high-stakes storytelling for weeks to come. Looking at potential booking decisions, WWE could see Roman confronting Knight either on Raw or SmackDown, perhaps demanding restitution or a public apology, while Jey is torn between loyalty to family and personal ambition. This tension opens possibilities for misaligned tag matches, solo promos, and heated multi-man encounters, with Knight and Jey forced into conflict. Roman's involvement may escalate the stakes, potentially leading to a main event showdown, maybe with stipulations like a steel cage or no disqualification, designed to underline the betrayal and test loyalties. Fan reactions are already exploding online. Clips of the BFD, the handshake betrayal, and Jey's furious response have gone viral, trending across social platforms with debates, memes, and polls. WWE thrives when storylines spark this level of engagement, and every promo after this will be scrutinized through the lens of betrayal, family, and legacy. This angle carries immense potential. Done correctly, it can elevate Jey Uso to main event status, solidify LA Knight as a major threat, and reinforce Roman Reigns as the unyielding protector of the bloodline. Missteps, however, could blur character alignments, leaving fans confused about hero, villain, or anti-hero status. Clarity in story, promo stakes, and match consequences will be essential to maintaining tension and delivering a satisfying payoff. Roman's words, delivered cold and authoritative, could shape the trajectory. "La Knight, this isn't about receipts. It's about respect. Cross the bloodline, and you'll feel the cost. Jey, you've made your move, and consequences follow. Stand with us, or face the price. Walk wisely, because the tribal chief sees all and remembers everything." With WrestlePalooza approaching, the likely outcome is a high-profile matchup between Jey Uso and LA Knight, potentially with Roman's interference, overseen authority, or dramatic stipulations. Long-term, this feud could reshape the Raw landscape, redefine alliances, and position Knight as a true contender while testing Jey's resolve and evolution. Storytelling opportunities abound. Backstage encounters, blind-sided attacks, video packages highlighting the betrayal, flashbacks of the bloodline's history, and tension-filled promos that force decisions and escalate the feud. Tonight's breakdown shows how LA Knight's attack on Jey Uso isn't just a moment, it's a catalyst for character evolution, family tension, and high-stakes drama that will shape the WWE landscape in the coming weeks. Thanks for watching Suplex Saga, where we dive deeper than spectacle, analyzing every nuance. If you enjoyed this take, hit like, subscribe, and share your thoughts. Who wins if Roman steps in? Will Jey rise, or will Knight push too far? Roman's warning signals war, and this story is just beginning.